so yep, I'm getting to it now. Sorry it's late. If you haven't seen this before, one of the easiest ways to access the patch notes is to tap on your portrait in the upper left hand corner and then go to settings in the bottom right hand corner and then go on down to where you see, where is it? Game settings. Oh, where you see support. Tap on support. And then it comes up with the little pop-up that, is where you would submit a ticket or something like that. There is a section and it shows news posts. And one of the latest news posts is the patch notes 1.0.168. You can also see it in the top row there of the topics and stuff that are in the top row in case it gets bumped down. But you can see some of the stuff they've posted here from the past. But the patch notes is what we're interested in today, so tap that. And then boom, there you go. You don't have to mess with trying to find the website or anything like that. You can just use this. So the latest patch notes that were posted were on August the 8th. They had different sections where they've added new things. The first section, so it looks like they've added some trait upgrades to the pop-up menu, added filtering capabilities in the gear tab in the inventory. That's really nice. I like that one. I've used that one multiple times already. Added a sorting capability in the all tab, added new 2D and 3D environments to some chapters. I haven't noticed those yet, but I'm sure I'll see them when I get to them. And added localized app names for Android. So in the tuning section, this is the important stuff right here because this is what affects your gameplay, these things. These are where they'll do the, the nerfs or the buffs to the characters and the mechanics of the game that will really affect your gameplay. They increased the silver rewards for player level up, increased early food storage, so I guess that means at early levels. Decreased the difficulty of some early campaign levels. They were harder than intended, so that's good for new players probably. And then we get into the actual factions that they've been tuning and doing things to. The first one is the Bolton faction. Unfortunately, I have not had the opportunity to use any of the Boltons yet, so I don't really know how their bleed works. It looks like that the bleed ability is kind of a Bolton thing. So, yeah, looks like they buffed it a little bit. Not really sure how that works, though. I've seen bleed applied to me as I've battled Boltons in the campaign and stuff, but I've never really noticed it to be a big deal. So I'm not really sure if it's that big a deal or not. It may be, and I may just not be aware of it. Okay, so the Free Cities faction is next. I have not had the opportunity to use any of the Free Cities faction either, so I'm not really sure how that goes. Looks like they increased the stamina gain from all sources, so players that use those will be happy because that looks like a substantial increase. 5%, 10 to 15 to 40, 80, and 100. That's a huge increase, so if you were using those characters, that's probably a big deal for you. A Bolton Field General, Bolton Man-at-Arms, Bolton Packhound, and these look like, just normal buffs. They all look like they're strengthening the characters pretty much. Bolton Pikeman, Bolton Shieldman. Okay, so it looks like a lot of the Bolton characters got some mainly buffs. I think some of the skills did go down a little bit, but they look mainly to be buffs to me. Brienne of Tarth, I have lots of people in my house that are using her and that they like using her, so she must be a really good character. I do not know because I do not have her, but I know that a lot of people talk good about her, so I think she would be a good one to investigate based on the feedback I'm seeing. Daenerys Targaryen. Now, there are two Daeneryses. This is the Khaleesi, the version of Daenerys that was, pretty much with the Dothraki horse lords and stuff like that. So that's the one they're talking about. She's the one that does heals and stamina gain, stuff like that. She is not the Daenerys that has the attack all fire breath, the Dracarys fire breath attack. That's the other Daenerys, the red Daenerys. So don't get them confused. Because you can see they have her kind of paired with the Dothraki that they have done, updates to. The Blood Rider, the long braid. Then you have a Dreadfort Flare that got adjusted. I do not know anything about that one either. I don't use that one. Then we have Ghost, which is a very popular character. He's in a lot of people's parties. I don't know if it was just because at the onset of the game they had an initial buy offer where you could immediately unlock Ghost. That may be one of the reasons why a lot of people have him, because he's one of the first legendaries that you can actually attain and unlock for a small price, and it was a good deal, so I got him too. And honestly, he's never left my party, so take that for what it will. He's a good character. Skill description is corrected to show the actual damage done to Brittle, and skill damage to Brittle is double to 154%. So he does super good damage to a Brittle character. Mine can do anywhere from 10,000 to 40,000 damage, just depending on how good the roll is. Then we have a Godswood Defender. I don't have one of those, but it looks like they counter the Bolton faction. So that's interesting. The Jorah Mormont, I don't have him either, so I'm not really sure about how good he is. I think he's, I'm not sure, I think he's one of the Free Cities faction. Khal Drogo is the one that we're currently earning tokens for in the PvP seasons right now. I will have him unlocked after this PvP season that we're in right now, because I'm in first again, and I will get those tokens for him, and that will be enough for me to unlock him now. So yeah, that'll be interesting. I'm not sure if I will slot him in my party or not, but I'll have him, and if he becomes a really, if he becomes a really good character to think about putting in your party, I'll definitely have him available. Shagga. In order to help Shagga focus on damage and applying bleed, we've removed his taunt and shifted his stats from defense and HP to attack. Wow, okay, so this one sounds like it really is going to change the way people would play with him if they had him in their party, because he was somebody that could do a taunt, and now it's removed. So that completely changes the way you play with Shagga. So if you have this guy, you may be happy about that, or you may be not so happy about that. I'm not really sure how that will work out for you. I'm hoping well, but I do not use him, so it doesn't matter to me, but sounds like it could affect, somebody that relies on him a lot. Zohan Daxos. He's a character that I have my eye on, somebody that I have thought that I will use in the future if the opportunity ever arises to build a party that needs a character that does a shield. So the skill bonus from shield was 10 to 48%, and now it is 6 to 20%. So it looks like they have nerfed that one a little bit. He may have been just a little bit too powerful, and he is an epic character, so yeah, he may have been a little bit too powerful, so it looks like they've nerfed that. So if you relied on that, then that kind of sucks. It always sucks to get the nerfs, especially when it's the characters you use. Ygritte, she had a skill damage increase. She has a chance to, instead of imparting 1 bleed, she has an 80% chance to impart 3 bleed. And that's a skill that does more damage per stack applied. So that sounds like a good deal for her. Because then she went from an absolute 1 bleed that she could impart to now she could do 3. So that's probably good. Okay, we go down to the last, I think this is the last section. It talks about the bug fixes, and there was quite a bit of stuff that they fixed. I noticed when I was going through this list initially, I noticed that there was quite a bit of things that they had went through and upgraded. There were some things that I wish they would have gotten to that I have seen so far but didn't make the list. Hopefully next time. Sorry, I get a drink of my coffee. So for alliances, they fixed the upgrade icon appearing in the district map. I did not ever see that, so I'm not really sure about that one. Fixed the alliance bug that would freeze the game and the player would see an error page instead. I've never had that one happen, thankfully, so I'm glad I didn't have to deal with that. Champions and enemies. Okay, so Braun is a character that a lot of people use, is now removed from the enemy team, his dagger, when Braun is defeated. This will make Braun weaker as his dagger reduces accuracy and attack. So that's probably not too great for people that rely on Braun. Fixed an issue where some champion ability strengths were showing 1 for the number of buffs and debuffs and actions they were applying when it was actually more. So that's great. So that actually helps people understand where they're at with their power skill applications. So that's really good. Alicent Hightower, Daenerys Targaryen, Bone Collector, Samwell Tarly. So these were characters that people use a lot, so this is a big deal for them. Samwell Tarly is a highly used character as he's a shielder as well, and he's supposed to be really good. I don't have him, but I would like to try him one day. Fixed enemies showing traits properly on several instances of the game. That's always good because we want to know what our players' skills can do correctly. Fixed an issue where Catelyn Stark's rash impulse ability would show targeted allies as having Tyrion's defender buff. That's not good. Fixed an issue where Viserion's patience ability would heal characters under certain circumstances. Okay, I think that's something that wasn't intended to happen, so that's good that they fixed that, because that could be a crazy bug to utilize. Fixed an issue where Caraxes' champion info screen showed incorrect traits. Fixed incorrect level being selected when changing difficulty in the events. That's cool. I'm glad they fixed that because you only get so much energy. So if you are not getting the difficulty level you want when you're selecting it, that's not cool because that's probably causing you to burn your energy when you didn't intend to on something you didn't want to do. So yeah. Fix that stuff. Energy is too crucial to us when we barely get to play the game as much as we want as it is. Add in new battle graphics for Deceive status and for Stun status. Update visuals for Portrait of a Deceived character. Fixed an issue with how some buffs and debuffs stack. Fixed an issue where debuff text like wounded did not appear. Fixed issues where missed attacks could still trigger effects listening for the type of damage attack. Fixed an issue where lane arrows were not always updated immediately when defeating an enemy. Okay. That is something I have noticed before actually, because I think when that affected me, it's because I was trying to use my skills too fast. Because sometimes you tap a hero and use their special ability and then tap another hero that you were planning on doing next too quick, and it would not update which one you were actually targeting, and it kind of caused it to go off incorrectly. Fixed class tag not appearing in Windows screen in the reward section. Let's see. Let's go on down. Fix defeat screen after win when using multiple targeting characters on autoplay. Okay. Fix taunt blocking target visual feedback positioning. Some character specific audio clips were missing, and then some general ones. Fix descriptive text overlap when offline in Japanese. Fix the inbox message not showing properly. This has happened to me multiple times where I went to check my mail and my mail is not displaying properly. They stopped showing new on equipment in the inventory. That's good because a lot of times you'd go in there and look at it and it would be new, and you would go back in there and look at it and it would still say new. So it was kind of annoying. You couldn't tell what you had just gained because you couldn't count on it to be correct. So now it sounds like that's fixed. Gold Road, fixed goal renewing animation and goal screen. Didn't notice that whenever. Raids, fixed tooltip for PvP energy not showing in raid defeat screen. Raid screens now show offline state if the player is not online. Okay, that's cool. That may be cool because you may want to raid some. Well, I don't really know how that applies because when you raid someone, they don't get the option to take over the battle for themselves if they are actually online. So I don't really know why that's a big deal. But anyway, if they're going to revenge you, they're going to revenge you. It doesn't matter when they do it, they'll do it. So I don't really know how that's a thing. Roster and team edit. Fixed champion upgrade screen showing food and silver values that were different from the pop-up values that displayed. Fixed equipment inactive bonus section showing the wrong subclass. Okay, that's a big deal because as hard as it is to get your epics and your legendary gears, you want them to be correct. So if that was a thing, that's a big deal. Fixed out of currency flow not appearing when player tries to unequip gear with not enough currency to do it. And that's kind of dumb, actually. If you want to know my opinion on that, don't even get me started on this one, because the fact that I have to pay to take some gear off is kind of, I don't really like that one. It doesn't sit well with me. Even though the cost is minimal, it's just like 10 silver, 50 silver, whatever. I still don't like that idea. It just doesn't feel right to me that I can't change my gear whenever I want to without having to pay to do it. It's kind of dumb. I don't know. But it's probably just one of those sinks that they put in the game to help some of the currency leave the game so that players are constantly having to find new ways to get currency and possibly purchase it. So I get why they do that, but I just don't like that one. It's always bugged me. Fixed skill books not appearing in the store. That's good, because if we want to buy skill books, it'd be nice if they were there. And for the company, too, so they can make money. Fixed class icon displaying instead of subclass icon for gear. Okay. Fix the star on icon on trait dialogues for champions. Okay, so that was the whole of the patch notes. And honestly, I'm going to have to say that I'm pretty impressed with this first round of patch notes, because while a lot of the things they fixed didn't really affect me per se, because these are not characters that I use and these are not issues that I really ever encountered except for a couple, just the fact that they had so many things that they fixed on there was very pleasing to see, because that means that they're actively working on fixing the game and making it better. So I really like that. So that's great. Now, going forward, how often will we see a fix or a patch? Who knows? I mean, it could be once a month, it could be once every 5 months, it could be every other week. Don't really know, because we've only seen one so far, and the game's been out for roughly close to 3 weeks now. So we've seen one major update, And they did put in things, like if you'll remember right, they put in the legendary assault option in the Alliance. So there's lots of things that they're working on behind the scenes, and this is good because this game has a tendency to feel stale at the place that it's at right now. Because, we're gated by energy, so you can only play it so many times per day. Your buildings you do, and some of the builds get so long that, like my 13 to 14 fortresses took almost 3 days. So there's really nothing I can do there once I set it. The events, yeah, it's great we have an event, but there's only one of them so far, and we've seen the same event recycled over a second time. This is the second time we've had the Dragon Egg quest. So it's not like we have a plethora of events to do, So at this point, we need more content. We really do. We have this quest thing down here in the lower left-hand corner of the screen, but it's not active. It just says continue the campaign when you tap on it. And then you have your storyline that you can do. Like right now I'm in hard mode and I'm up to chapter 14 on trying to defeat the hard mode. And then I'll have treacherous mode after that, and I have beat normal. But that's only so much that you can do, and there is no global chat. So there's really no way that we can interact with other players. So other than the 30 that are in our house, hopefully they'll do something about that soon, because that is just too oppressive, only having 30 active slots that you can have in your house. That really needs changed, because right now we need an increased member cap for sure. So anyway, I don't want this video to devolve into a state of the game type of thing. This was supposed to be patch notes related, so I'll shut up now and quit wandering the topics on to something different, and I'll keep it to this. So I just wanted to say thank you for watching my content. I'm so glad that you're here. I'm so glad that you guys are subscribing and you're commenting and you're interacting. That's very important to me, and I appreciate you. And I just wanted you to know that, and I hope you have a great day. Thanks for watching.